All right, Sean Lennon here, Pro Wrestling Enforcer Podcast. Guys, we got a lot of things coming up. CSW is coming in a few short weeks, so we got some wrestlers from CSW and beyond on our Pro Wrestling Enforcer Podcast as well. We're promoting the upcoming show. Of course, CSW presents Rotten to the Core, and make sure to check that August 19th. And right now, welcoming Woodstock, Illinois, independent wrestler Almero Victor Iniestra to PWE, talk about his career. Of course, upcoming match with the WWE Legend Carlito at CSW, Rotten to the Core, among other shows he has coming up. And make sure to check his matches out. This has been featured at CSW, Northland Pro, Galli Lucha Libre, AAW Alive, JWA, Premier Pro Wrestling, and also an appearance on AEW Dark, which is yet to be televised or broadcasted or streamed on YouTube. And obviously you had a big match of Axel Rico taking on Bear Country. So tell us about what inspired you to become a pro wrestler. Was it a match? Was it a wrestler in particular? I mean, you were an athlete in high school, I believe. You were a football player.
Yeah, man. So I've always been interested, like a bunch of us, we've been interested in wrestling, but like, I remember I first got into it when, I don't know if you remember back then or how far back you go in wrestling, with the whole thing with Rikishi and running over Stone Cold. I don't know if you remember that yes. era, but that's what got me onto it. I remember seeing that Rikishi was doing this thing and trying to, jump Stone Cold and all that. So that's what got me into it first. And I was like, the hell is this? So that was my first introduction to it. And then since then, I've just been hooked. But I've never actually thought about being a wrestler during that time. I was just a big fan of it. I was always into sports. I played baseball. I played football, but football was my main one. I played all through high school. And then I went to go play D3 in Chicago at North Park University. It's a D3 school. But I wanted to play there because that was like always my thing. I always wanted to play college football and then just, study. The thing is, though, I did that. I went and I went to a community college, and then I went and transferred out, played football. But I mean, after that, I was like, well, now what? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm here. I accomplished this. But I mean, once I got into college ball, it was more like I started realizing all like the politics that go into it. Like, there was people there that were brought in, they were recruited because I was a walk-on, and there was people that were recruited there by coaches. And then they obviously they got, first dibs at being a starter. But like some of these guys weren't even that good. Some of them were just like, they were there because they got brought in, where there was clearly other people that were better. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, all right, well, does that mean none of us are going to get a chance? So I'm like, whatever. I've never been somebody to bitch about something like that. So I thought, screw it. I'm just going to go and prove myself. Well, a lot of us realized and found out quickly that like, we're not gonna get as much playing time our first year as some of these other guys would. I mean, I got a little bit of playing time, but it wasn't like how I wanted it to be. So, I mean, after that, that kind of just killed my passion for football because I was always about football at that time. And then, so after when I was in college and playing football, my one season, because I only played for a season, I was like, I don't want to do this no more. I hate school. I hate studying. I hate sitting in the library. I don't want to swear, but I hate sitting in this library all the time. And it's a beautiful day, and I'm sitting here writing a dumb paper about something I don't care about. So I'm like, I can't be doing this, and I wanted to drop out. I ended up transferring out to another school, and then that didn't go good, and then I just ended up dropping out from there. But I got my associates, but I didn't get my bachelor's. So then I'm thinking, well, I always wanted to give this a shot, a wrestling, because I started looking into it again. Because I took a break from wrestling, and then when CM Punk cut that pipe bomb, I just happened to be watching it that day. That was a one day where I'm like, let me see what's on. And that was on TV. And I was like, you know what? I want to look for places. And at one point I looked at Reality of Wrestling with Booker T because I wanted to go out there to train. But then I'm like, this is too much money. I can't go out there. And, I wasn't at the right place. So then I found Premier Pro Wrestling. I found there, which is close to me. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go train. Screw it. So I looked at a show, went there, and I liked it. It was a smaller venue. Picture a Northland. It's a Northland promotion. It's like that, but they run weekly. Right. So I'm like, screw it. I signed up, and then that was in 2015. 2015, and then I was there for a good 6.5 years. But the thing is, I was only there. I was only at that spot. And because the promoter is one of those promoters that was like, I mean, I don't want to even say his name just because, you know, it's because of what it is what it is. But a lot of people know him, and he's known for that, where you only wrestle here and that's it. You only wrestle here. Right. And if you want to go somewhere, screw you, you're dead to me, that type of thing. He even went out of his way to say things about me that wasn't even true. And, you know, I've confirmed it with other people, and I'm like, this isn't even true. This is what happened. Point is, I ended up saying, I need to leave. I can't be here no more. I want to go somewhere else. I love the wrestlers. Everyone was cool there. I just didn't like how it was run. That's when I hit up Boz. I hit up Boz because TJ Steele actually came and did a couple shows for Premier Pro Wrestling. So that's how I knew him. Hit him up, and then he's like, bro, come through. I'll introduce you to Boz. And that's I've been with CSW since, and just started growing from there, man. So it's awesome. And now I'm here about to do this whole thing with Carlito, man. It's just crazy, man. And like, it hasn't even been a year yet since I've left. Hasn't even been a year.
Definitely, man. Well, I've actually stopped by, you know, the CSW Academy. It can be an intimidating place. I've never done any training there, but I'm just saying I can tell by the look of it. And so how did you feel you fit in there, you know?
I mean, I think I fit. I'm at first I was like, this is a little different, you know, different personalities. It's, you know, it's just from what I came with. It's I put it this way. I have a really dark sense of humor. Like, I'm not like my dark sense of humor. It's like, damn, I'm scared to say this because I'm afraid I'm offending someone, this and this, you know. But it's just everyone's different. Everyone has different personalities. So coming into CSW, it was more like, oh, it's more chill. It's more like it's still cool. I love the people there. It's amazing. Yeah, it's fun. It's just I'm more like, okay, Vic, you got to tone it down a little bit. Don't be, you know. So, but I mean, it was perfect. It was perfect. I met new people. They were more than welcoming, especially Boz and then Hades. They were all good. They were all cool guys. I knew Sky because she trained at Premier Pro Wrestling when she first started. So I knew her. I knew Anakin, or Adam Stallion, how you guys know him. I knew those guys. Greg too. Greg Moondog now. And so I knew them from PPW. So they were kind of like, hey, come through. And yeah, man, it was just I think I fit good. So I fit perfectly. It was a little different personalities, but either way, we're all crazy at the end of the day. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
I mean, talk about though getting your start like in the business with Premier Pro Wrestling. How was that getting your start? Like developing yourself over time. You had a completely different look back then. You know, I'm sure your in-ring moves were different. I mean, you do a lot of lucha moves, you know, similar to lucha moves now than probably you did back then, right?
Yeah, man. It's when I started, and then put it this way, since I've started up until now, I've had over like maybe a little over 600 matches since then. And that's because we worked at Premier Pro Wrestling. We worked literally every weekend. I loved it, man. I love that shit. It's like, I worked it, but it wasn't even just one match. It was like double duty, and then sometimes three matches a night. We would have to go wrestle, come back, you know, to talk about a match real quick with someone else, maybe have 5 minutes to do it, and then just go back out there and call it out there. And I got really good at that, at calling matches in the ring. Like it's not like 100% calling it in the ring, but like when I got out to, like, when I left Premier Pro Wrestling, a lot of people were like, from what I noticed, not everybody, just some people, they say, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And then we're going to lock up, and then I'm going to get the go behind. And then when I get the wrist lock, and I'm like, oh my God, man. I'm like, bro, just feel it out there, man. What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean take a step left over here and take a step right over? Just do it. Like, this is little like basic stuff, you know, but it's not everybody. There's some people out there, and I guess, but some people, if you're new, I get it, you know, but some people are like, damn, this guy's been doing it for this long and he still don't know. But, you know, I'm not going to be that asshole. Yeah, man, let's go out there and do it, you know. But at Premier Pro Wrestling, I started there, and just, you know, I loved it. I loved the people that I was with. I literally just gave up my weekends when I first started. I gave it up. I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to go drinking. I was never a heavy drinker either, but it was easy for me to give up my weekends because this is like, you know, this is the shit I love. I love doing this. Yeah. Even when even when I'm not wrestling, I'm like, damn, what the hell am I going to do now? Like, you know, I have a weekend off. What do normal people do, you know? But, I was there, and I think it's because of that place that I got really good. You know, it's a shame the way it ended. It's a shame that, you know, it's run the way it is. I don't agree with the way it is. And then getting out there after I left realizing, yeah, man, this is really the way shit is run here. That's not the way it should be run, but it's not my company. It's not, I'm not the owner. So the best thing I could do is leave. I still have relationships with some of the guys there. Some of the people actually left and they're doing their own thing and I still talk to them. Those are just like relationships that you build with them. But I mean, it sucks. But at the end of the day, I was like, am I trying to just have fun on the weekends or am I trying to grow? So made that decision and I left, man. And then, man, it got me really, I kind of figured out who I was. I used to have short hair, man, but now I have long hair. Fuck, man, I had like a buzz cut, and now it is where it is though. But I went through like gear changes, man. I saw my old pictures, I saw my old matches. I'm thinking, who the hell is that? Like when I was watching that, I'm like, that's not me. That's not. I used to have title boxing boots, but you just grow, and you just grow, and I'm grateful for it because now I was able to get from where I was to now. It's because of places like that and that I've gotten good. So I appreciate being there. It's just, it is what it is. And now I'm here and now it's like, damn, I'm experiencing these other places like Galli and AAW in Wisconsin, JWA. I went down to ROW with Booker T a couple times to wrestle. And that was awesome, man. He liked the way I wrestled. I haven't gone recently because the flights are just too expensive to go down there. Yeah. But he was like, yeah, man, let's keep working. I like to work with you, but hopefully I get down there soon. And I just recently started going to OVW for the first time. So they said they were willing to work with me, but let's do something. And I don't know, man, it's just this business takes you anywhere. One day you're over here and the next day you're over here. And then like, when the hell did I get here? So, but damn, man, coming up in this in 7 years, it's like, when the hell did I think this was going to happen?
For sure. And I think that's what the difference is just working for the great promotions like the CSW and Galli and AAW, which has been around like longer than both, but I mean, probably almost as long as Galli, but it seems like they've been around since like 2005. So AAW is, like rich tradition there. I've been going to their shows for decades.
Yeah, the thing with us too is AAW, I guess, so Unicorns hit me up. They messaged me and they said, hey, we have a promoter that's interested, and I was like, oh, okay, who? And they're like, AAW. And I was like, wait, Chicago? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, damn, like, all right, well, they told me to send me their stuff because, they talked to the guy. I sent them my stuff and then I got in touch with the owner and then I sent him a message. I DM'd him and he was like, come by, let's talk, send me your stuff. I went to the next show, and then it wasn't Dan who I talked to right away. It was another guy that I forgot his name. He helps put the show together.
Keith or Dr. Keith?
I don't remember. He's an older guy. He's bald. Okay. Old guy. I think he's a Sox fan because he always has a Sox hat. I talked to him, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm the one that hit up Martin from Unicorns. How are you?" And I'm like, "Oh man, hey, how are you?" I didn't know that, and then I got to meet him. Turns out they're like, hey, we were interested in you since Premier Pro Wrestling, but we didn't tell you anything because we know how the owner is. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. In my head, I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. I was like, oh man, awesome. And then he's like, yeah, we saw you were in Galli. We saw you were doing CSW. So we were interested. And I'm like, hey, I'm happy to be here. But inside I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. But that just shows another thing that I made the right move, man. And the places are interested as long as you make these moves. But that place is on a whole nother level. That place is from what I'm used to with like their production and all that and bringing names. I'm like, damn, this is where I want to be. So right now I'm on their Alive show. So, but even that's still pretty awesome. Just being there with all these other talents around here.
That's awesome, man. AAW, live it up there, man. Their crowds are amazing. I hope you get on the September 1st show. It's gonna be a big one. Destination Chicago.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at that one. I'm gonna be at that one. So that one's gonna be fun too. Hopefully, I'm on that main card though.
Okay, good. I'll be there. Talking about actually, so who do you feel you emulate when you wrestle? Do you emulate anyone in particular, or?
I mean, I don't know if I emulate more. It's more like, what did I take from people? I guess how should I put it? Obviously we have our like who inspired us, like Stone Cold, Rock, Undertaker, all from that era. But I think I was always a fan of it. But I think one thing that I guess if you say who I emulated and who I kind of studied, I guess, was Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko, you know, those guys. Those guys are the ones that Shawn Michaels, those guys are the guys that I studied. You know, I to this day I watch their matches and I look up something because, you know, maybe I'm eating food and then I'm like, you know what, let me pop in a match, and then I just put on the match on my phone and I start watching it. And I feel like those guys are more like, okay, they do this and they lock up like this. And then what transition did they do? Wow, that's creative. Okay, let me take this. And you know what I mean? I got to take little things from here and there. And then from Shawn Michaels, I feel like I guess if you would say emulate, I probably emulated my entrance a little more from him. I don't know if you like seeing like how like I started coming out with these other crazy outfits. But like I was thinking, okay, what can make me stand out more besides the basic, what other wrestlers do? What I've seen is the sweater with the hoodie. That's boring to me. What do? They come out, another one's come out with like the cut off what it's called, a vest, like a cutoff vest or something. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Or another one is what else do they do? I can't even think of it off the top of my head, but they come with the shirt, a regular boring shirt. Like, I don't want to do that. What else could I do? So then I looked at Shawn Michaels and then I saw the outfits that he would wear. And I'm like, damn, this guy, what the hell's up with this guy? And then just like started looking at more of that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take something of this and then see what I could find and make it mine, you know? So I would say that could probably what I emulated. And I started doing that. So, but as far as like my whole, like the way I wrestle would be probably those guys. Kurt Angle's another big one. The way he wrestles, a lot of his matches, like that whole ruthless aggression era, I guess what I want to say. These are the matches that I studied. Booker T and other guys. That whole era is what I studied in their matches. That's why, like when I work, I like doing that stuff. You know, it's as far as like the whole, like, you know, how wrestling today is like the whole flippy stuff. I mean, I'll do it, but I rather like that bores me. Like I'll do it if you say let's do like a couple spots here and there with that flipping stuff. Yeah, like that's good with me. Perfect, let's do it. But I don't want to base the whole match off of that, you know, because now I'm just going in there thinking, what was the spot this? What was this spot? What was that spot? Like, bro, let's go out there and have fun. Let's tear it up. And what happens if someone forgets something? Hey, you got to change it up. Why would I just like memorize every little single thing, you know? Unless it's for like TV or something that like other big things that, okay, I get it. But, you know, I mean, but yeah, those are like the guys that I pretty much studied and just went with it and said, these are the guys that I'm gonna work with. And those are that, man. Those I'm a fan of those matches. At the end of the day, those are the matches I'm a fan of. So I would say emulate those guys. Or just look at
some big boots to fill there, but yeah, really great wrestlers and great, you know, like they weren't like the biggest guys of their eras either.
Yeah, exactly. And I looked at their size. I'm like, I mean, I'm 5'7" and I'm like around their size, you know, maybe like 5, because these guys are like 5'8", 5'9". So I'm like, I'm close, you know. And then Ray, I think, is like an inch shorter than me or two, but so I'm in there somewhere.
And how do you feel about some of the more dangerous matches you've gotten to see, especially like in CSW Northland, Northland Pro Wrestling and CSW? And how do you feel you would meet those expectations if able to perform in them?
In dangerous matches, you're saying?
Yeah, like the gimmick matches, like, you know, like it's harking back to like Northland Pro back in March, you know, when they had the street fight and or the big or even like the beauty supply match. I mean, you know, you can break yourself on something. I mean,
the most dangerous match so far that I've done was at I don't know if you were at Galli. I was there and I was in that ladder match. I was in that ladder match. Yeah, that was the most dangerous one I've done so far. I've done ladder matches at Premier Pro Wrestling, but it wasn't like the one I did at Galli. Because at this one, I did a sunset powerbomb off of the top, and that's to Jake Painter, and I did it to him. That was pretty cool. I thought that was awesome, and there was a full house. That was probably the most dangerous one. But even then, man, I didn't really bump on that one. Everyone was saying, like, I'm going to, like, yo, we got to do this, we got to do that. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. And then I saw they were taking all these, like, I'm going to do this, and you got to give me this. And I'm like, hell yeah. And in my head, I'm like, damn, like, I don't want to do any of that. Like, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just give you a sunset powerbomb off the top. He's like, bro, give it to me. I'm like, all right, screw it. So, I mean, that was the most I did. I didn't really go through anything. It just ended up like that. It's not like I intentionally did it. I ended up like that. But as far as the whole thing with like the other ones, man, I don't even know if I want to do that, to be honest. I rather just watch, I think. I rather just watch. It's like, damn, that's like, those are entertaining. Yeah. But I don't know if I want to do that. I don't think I have the I don't think I have the stones to do that right now. Maybe later on in the future, but
Right.
for now, I'll just take a seat and I'll watch those. I'd rather just go and work, unless it's like a big, huge show or something. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless it's worth the risk. I actually filmed your match.
Oh yeah, which one?
That one, the ladder match, the one you just mentioned. Yeah, I filled in for the cameraman for the first 3 matches, and that was one of the first 3 matches.
Oh man, yeah, that one.
I had the best view.
That was awesome. My girlfriend was there too, and she was filming.
Oh, you're freezing up, brother.
Oh damn, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're kind of like in slow motion.
Oh, I think it's better now, is it maybe?
Yeah, it should be good now. Yeah, now you're good. You're kind of in slow motion.
Am I slow motion still?
Yeah, let's see if we can get it up. Okay, you should be good now.
Cool. Yeah. I was saying that she was there at the show and she recorded it, and I could hear in the video yelling. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "Man, once you're up in that, and it was a big ladder too. It wasn't no small ladder. This ladder was huge. It was one of those big ass ones, and man, just when you're up there already, I don't know, man. It's like that's why we're here. Like that adrenaline gets you going and shit, And when all I saw was I looked up, I saw a crowd of people, looked down, and I'm like, all right, here I come, man. Just went for that sunset flip. So it was awesome, dude. It was pretty cool. I never even practiced nothing like that. I'm just like, I'm going for it. Screw it.
All right. So you guys don't like get in the ring in advance and go over stuff with the ladder in place, or no?
We didn't for that, no.
Okay.
I think we just kind of trusted each other. Some people have, but to me, it was more like I knew what I was gonna do. So I'm like, and I trusted myself doing something like that. Even though I've never done it off of a ladder, I've done it like from the outside or inside of the ring to the outside, like sunsets. So I'm like, how hard could this be? Screw it.
Hello? Yeah. I think you broke up.
Oh, I think I'm coming back slowly.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So tell us about the match of Carlito. This is a man who took the Apple gimmick to to new heights, right?
Yeah. I just know. I heard that they were gonna bring him in probably a month and a half ago. I was told, and then how did it happen? I remember hearing that they were gonna bring him in, and then I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. And then I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, I don't remember what I said. I said something, and then I'm like, it's probably gonna be a packed house, And then next thing I know, like a week later, Hades messages me and he tells me, hey, are you gonna be there for the show? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be there, hell yeah. And then he's like, okay. And then that's when he told me that you're going against Carlito. And I'm like, what? Like me? Like holy you know what I mean? Like I was like, damn, that's a big thing. Cause I remember seeing this guy from coming up when I was watching wrestling and coming up since that whole like mid 2000s era. And now to be like, I never thought like, hey, I'm gonna be wrestling him one day. One day I'm gonna wrestle him. But when he told me that, I'm like, what? Like, holy shit! Like, all right, let's do this. Screw it. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm down. Like, of course I'm gonna be there. He's all right. I just wanted to make sure. And I'm like, yeah, what the hell? Just you don't even have to ask me. Put me down. So yeah, man, I've heard good things about him. I haven't heard one bad thing. Like I've heard a lot of good things about him. I've heard people say that he's a chill dude. He's cool as hell to work with. He's easy to work with. And I heard he doesn't like to choreograph things, which is awesome. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go in there and just choreograph every little thing. Just go in there and work. Work, have fun. Let's tear this down. And hell yeah, man, I'm excited. It looks like last time I heard, I think we're at close to 200 already pre-sold. Close to 200 pre-sold tickets, I think. So, and it's gonna be a packed house from what I can tell. And I'm bringing people. Some of my friends are bringing people, and it's gonna be a huge, huge house. I'm thinking, and man, I'm excited as hell. And are you gonna go or are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to CSW whenever I can go, dude. I know there's a lot of wrestling shows, but that weekend I'm free, man. I'll be there for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna miss that one.
I'm excited as hell Excited as hell,
Yeah.
and I'm not excited as like I'm excited and I'm what's the other word? Anxious. I'm anxious to do it. I mean, I don't really get like nervous anymore. It's more like I get anxious to do it. Like I'm not like, oh my God, I'm gonna screw up. Nah, I'm more like, let's do this. Like I'm pumped, you know, my hairs are popping off my arms, you know, let's do this shit, you know, that's how I am.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's just because I've done this so much and like you just kind of like I'm confident in myself that I can do it. It's just like, man, let's get this done. You know, like before a pregame, before like a football game, before a sports game, like let's go do this. You know, that's how I am. So I'm excited, man.
I'm not sure it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun for you to be in there with a legend of Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Carlito. I know it's gonna be an amazing match. I know it's gonna be exciting. You guys are gonna tear it down. Great card too, by the way, as well.
You what's up?
I said great card so far as well.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. The whole card is stacked, dude. The whole card. I've seen them posting matches about it. And I'm like, damn, this whole card is stacked. Like, the hell? And then even the Futures Battle Royal is probably going to be packed. Because I saw, okay, this person is not on this. Right. But they're going to be on here. It's going to be a whole thing is going to be amazing, dude. It's going to, I've never even drank at those shows before, too, because I don't really drink like that. But I honestly, I probably have a shot or something after just to celebrate.
Yeah. Well,
I have to, maybe, you know.
We'll have to. Get one in for sure. I mean, that's great. I mean, like you said, great guy in Carlito. You know, this guy, you got to watch out for those apples, though.
yeah. I wonder what we're doing with that. So, I mean, who knows if he wants to. I'm not going to say anything, but if he says, like, yo, let's do this, like, yeah, man, let's do it.
Of course. Man. And then I think, like, you know, just the fact that the name recognition is great for CSW. When you bring in a big name like that, it's going to draw a big crowd. People, they're just still so nostalgic, you know what I mean? Like I keep thinking Carlito was attitude era, but it was like a little bit after that. But like when you had Sky Tuhati in the house, like that was a packed house, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was packed. That was packed. The one after that one was packed, and then now this one's gonna be packed. It's just from what I understand, they're looking at bringing a name every show, you know, and or something big for every show. And it's like it's clearly because it's working because we've had sold out shows for like four shows in a row, I think now, and I'm telling you, man, the whole time, like I'm in there, it's just like it's with these I love loud, rowdy crowds. I love when they're talking smack to your face. I love when they're yelling. I love when they're just telling you like, and like I don't get offended. I'm a heel. I don't give a damn. You know, like tell me everything. Right. Tell me to go die. I don't care. Like I don't give a shit. Tell me whatever. You know, hold up these signs. You know, I don't care. To me, that's better. I just like kind of, you know, that's what you want. You don't want a crowd to be quiet. Sure. But when it's like loud, rowdy crowds like that, man, it's you get those goosebumps. If I like it because I get that feeling again when I was in football, you know, that pregame feeling, and then to have that now in wrestling, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a big ass show, and it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that, especially with Carlito, man. I'm a big fan of his too. So.
Yeah, the hottest show on Friday 19th. Make sure you're there, everyone. Definitely. The core. Chicago Style Wrestling. If you've never been, it's a great show. And they have a nice little after party where they have the bar in the venue, which is really nice as well. And it's kind of cool because like most of the wrestlers stay in the area. So like you guys aren't all leaving. Like you go to other shows, everybody's leaving, you know, because they have to go to like big towns, you know what I mean? So that's one thing that's fun about CSW is mostly everybody stays, you know?
They all stay and then they all hang out and they cheer for each other and, you know, just talk our shit, you know, and then I get once I, you know, left where I started. So to be here now, it's like, damn, when did I get here? You know, when did I get here? And now having these other chances with like AEW, for example, next week or something. But I mean, I think I'm allowed to talk on it. It's just I'm not allowed to post about it. But you know, it's just I never thought I'd get here. You know, so it's really humbling. I always like it's one of those things where you because I've noticed a lot of wrestlers, they get down on themselves. And then I remember looking at Booker T's podcast because I guess not his podcast. He has a show on his own ROW YouTube channel, and I listen to his stuff a lot. And I remember he was saying like, you know, we really are our own worst enemy just because of what we put in our heads. And sometimes it's like you kind of got to hear that because sometimes we just get down on ourselves, but you know, fucking at the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun. You know, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun, and we do this because we love it. So I mean, just to be here where I'm at now, it's like I just always try to remember, like, yo, look where you're at, look where you finally are right now. You know, look at these opportunities you're getting, you know, and just have fun with it. You know, hopefully one day I get signed somewhere, man. That's the goal. You know, it's like one of the main goals that I have in life. And but in the meantime, let's have some fun with this shit, you know.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited.
That's gonna be awesome. I wanted you to talk about your bodybuilding regimen. I know you are very intense in your powerlifting. Anything you want to comment about that?
Yeah, so it's powerlifting. So it's two, for the people that don't know, it's bodybuilding and powerlifting are two different things. Bodybuilding is, you know, building your body, like focusing on the shape and then, you know, going on stage and competing. Powerlifting is how much weight you can lift. Right. So that's what I do. I do powerlifting. I don't do bodybuilding because I love food too much and I will cheat on my food all the time. So if you tell me I gotta eat like a couple grams of carbs of this and then maybe a little bit of this, but not too much of that because it has too much sugar, I'm gonna lose it and I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. So with powerlifting, I just do you eat this many calories, you eat this many protein, and then, you know, it is what it is. Like, I have more lenient room. Like, I can get away with eating a piece of cheesecake and it'll benefit me, as to where if I eat a cheesecake in the other sport, that could probably harm me, you know, and then at that point I'm just gonna be miserable. So, but yeah, man, I started powerlifting in 2017, but the reason why I picked it up at first was because when I first started, I was one of, like, probably me and this other guy were probably like the smallest guys in the locker room. Like, I started when I was 23 and everybody there were grown ass men. They were all like, I think like 6 something. And then, like, you know, they were all like at least almost 6 feet, if not, like, they were all around 6 feet. And I was like one of the shortest ones and smallest ones there. So I'm like, I got to do something, man. I can't be just, you know, I got to build up my body. And that's when I picked up powerlifting because, you know, I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with powerlifting. I started looking up, you know, videos online. And then next thing you know, I'm part of, like, I start getting more into this powerlifting community. And then I start meeting other people online that are, you know, that are elite level lifters in this sport. And then that's how I met my coach. I met my coach, who's Ellis McLean, who's big in the community, who's big in the powerlifting community. And he's a 2-time world champ in his weight class. So when I saw him online, like, I had heard about him. And then when I saw him, I'm like, damn, like, this guy is like coaching. Let me hit him up real quick. Let me see if maybe he wants to coach me. Sure as shit, he hit me up like right back right away. And I think because he saw what I was doing. And then he asked you like, oh, what's your goals? And I think because my goals weren't like typical answers, he was like, you know what, let's screw it. Let's work. I got in a call with him. And now me and my girlfriend both train with him. And he's been awesome. Him and I have 2 coaches, Ellis McLean, and then he was a powerlifting coach, and another coach who's a bodybuilder, who's Connor Cummings, and he's the one who handles more of my nutrition. But man, it's when I tell you that this sport is crazy with powerlifting and wrestling and then life and everything. I could see why people lose their goddamn minds in this. And I've seen people go crazy just in life completely because of their job or what they're going through. These 2 guys have helped me completely, like, 100, like, do a whole 180. Like, I was already kind of like strong-headed and like I had my head on right, if that makes sense. But I wasn't, but like these guys just kind of like gave me that push, that extra push that, like, yo, let's work together. And just, they helped me change my body. They helped me get my whole conditioning on point. And not even that, dude, just like talking to them and seeing, like, because they're both entrepreneurs and just, you know, talk about life and getting our goals together, man. They have helped me and my girlfriend out completely change our lives, man. And I guarantee you, it's when I see, that's what kind of, like, with my whole dark humor thing, I could say what I could say and, like, I don't get offended because, like, it's just, how should I put it? It's like, I know who I am at the end of the day, and I know our goals that I have. And some people, they just kind of, I look at other people and how they handle certain situations, and in my head, I'm like, they just need thicker skin. They can't be offended by every little thing. You just need thicker skin, and you need to go out there and get yours. So I don't believe in the whole thing of when people say, I can't do this because this, and this is my reason why this isn't happening in my life.